Hello everyone, I am PyroFalkon, and this is Fire Emblem Three Houses. After the last episode, and before this one, I did a few arguably too difficult battles. It was too difficult for me. It got a little ugly, but everyone's fine. We also recruited Anna and got some supports up, including Constance here, who wants to talk to me. We've also got Mercedes support up, which is more important, but let's see what Constance is up to.
Oh, it's only you. Is there some reason you're here?
I was just looking.
Your gaze was rather piercing for someone who was just looking. Oh, I see now. You found yourself captivated by my charms.
Yeah, that's probably
This sort of
it.
thing happens all the time to those of us blessed with such transcendent beauty.
That wasn't it.
If you say so. You seem a trifle stuck on the point, if you ask me. Now then, you may call yourself my tutor if you wish, and I shall attend your classes. But none of this charade will make the idea of a mercenary teaching me any less absurd. What was that look? Are you trying to convey that I'm a mere commoner like yourself? Well, you are correct. Think of me as a temporarily embarrassed noble. Even a gilded wyvern must take refuge in its cave occasionally, but in time, it will soar free once more.
What are you talking about, Constance?
Bold and beautiful into the skies again. My nobility and all of House Nouvelle shall be restored.
I won't hold my breath.
What insolence! You hadn't even heard what I was going to say next. When I restore the glory of my house, you may serve me in some menial way. I may even pay you.
Thanks, but no thanks.
You would decline the honor of attending to me without a second thought? Say whatever you like, if it makes you feel better. It shall not sway me one way or the other. You look as though you want to say something. Allow me to save you the effort. If you intend to tutor me, I will require you to first prove that time will not be wasted. Show me not just your talent for teaching, but your wisdom, your skill, your mettle, your sense of authority. Of course! I've been struck by my own genius. You may assist me in my research. That ought to provide a chance for you to grasp the extent of how magnificent I am. It will also afford me the time I need to scrutinize your character. It's a plan so perfect that you can't turn it down, huh?
Pyro looks like he was just on his way to the bathroom and ran into her, and now he doesn't know what to do with himself. Oh, and Caspar. Okay. I guess this is a continuation of the support episode.
Hey, Professor, what's going on?
There's a suspicious man over there, apparently.
A suspicious man? Where? Oh, is that him? What do you think he's up to? Never mind that. Let's get him.
Let's keep watch for now. Charging in is a bad idea.
Watch? It's so boring. My instincts tell me that he's up to no good, and my instincts are never wrong. Come on, let's get him before he has a chance to strike.
You need to calm down.
There's no time to calm down. I'm just gonna... Oh no. The path he's walking down leads to the plaza where the kids play. There's no way I'm letting this guy get anywhere near those kids.
Caspar, why did you disobey your professor?
Well,
I am not seeking excuses from you. I asked because I want you to consider your actions and apologize for them. It just so happens that you were correct in your assumption that this man was a villain. If that were not so, He would not have chosen to take his own life upon seeing you advancing toward him.
Great. So I was...
But, because of your actions, that is all we know. There is no way for us to know who he was, what he was planning to do, or if he has allies lurking about. The only lead we have is a scorpion tattooed on his arm. If this indicates that he was a member of an underground organization, we have no way of dealing with it. Are you prepared to be held responsible if his group commits a serious crime?
As his professor, I will take responsibility.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
What are you talking about, Professor? We didn't do anything wrong. Those kids might have been in danger if we didn't act. I couldn't just stand by and let that happen.
It's a weird thing to get a C level for, but sure. And now Dorothea.
Well, I had fun today. Of course. You want to see me again, yes?
Of course. I'd love to, Dorothea.
Well, until we meet again. Oh, hello, Professor. Were you watching that?
That's a different guy I saw you with yesterday. Ben and I saw... It's none of my business, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yes. Is there a problem with that? Look, I know what I'm doing. My claim as a diva won't last forever, after all. I must look to the future. As a man, you may not feel so rushed about these things, but I know my beauty will eventually fade.
Aw, she's very practical, especially when it comes to marriage. She's not marrying for love, she's marrying for status, so her future is assured. Getting older doesn't bother me at all. That's not true. We all feel anxiety about aging.
You? Really? I never would have guessed. Anyway, I'm not just playing games with these boys. This is for my future. You have no right to object.
I'm not
I
objecting.
very much want to find a good partner here at the Academy. Someone who will take care of me for the rest of my life.
Do what you will. I don't care.
I'm glad you understand. Not everyone appreciates the necessity of taking the initiative while you're still in your prime. Or are you just saying that? Anyway, I value your opinion, Professor, but I won't have you interfering with my life plans. Unless you'd like to take care of me into my old age. That'd be something, eh? How about it, Professor?
Pass. Hard pass.
I wasn't... You aren't being serious, are you? I was just teasing. Or did you really just consider spending your whole life with me? If you did, that actually makes me... It makes me happy. I had no idea you might look at me that way.
I don't.
You've
Go
gotten
away.
Awfully quiet. You might even be blushing a bit. Have I embarrassed you?
No.
If so, I'm very, very sorry. I should be going anyway. I'll see you later, Professor.
Sure. Bye. Uninterested. Moving on. Hey, Mercedes, do you want to, get up to the B rank yet, or... Ah. Yay! Now we're getting somewhere.
You there, youngster? Won't you listen to this old man's troubles?
I'd rather
I was
not.
born and raised right here in this town. I spent my whole life here. My daughter lives in the Empire, and she sent me a letter to ask if I was keeping up with my daily worship.
Well, hello there, Professor. Is this a friend of yours?
Hi, Mercedes. I don't know him. I just have a face people want to talk to.
So? I was sure you two knew each other. Is there something we can do for you, good sir?
Oh, what a lovely young lady. I was just telling this kind soul a story.
Really? What's troubling you?
Well, I was thinking of going to daily prayer, but my leg's been acting up and I can't walk properly.
How terrible. That's no good at all. May I be of assistance? I'd be happy to lend a shoulder and escort you to the chapel.
Would you? Oh, I'd be most grateful to you. Thank the goddess for sending this young lady to me today.
We'll need your help too, Professor. Here, sir, take my arm. Splendid work, Professor. He really seemed to appreciate our assistance.
We did a good deed for the day.
Putting a smile on someone's face always seems to brighten up the day. Is something wrong? You're giving me a strange look.
This is just how my face is. How did you know something was bothering him?
Oh, how should I put this? I suppose it's just second nature to me.
What do you mean?
It's difficult to describe, but I can usually tell when someone is worried about something. Back there, I could tell that both you and the old man were in distress. I spent a good amount of my life living in the church. Maybe that's why I'm so good at identifying these things?
Living in the church? Are you a nun?
Did I not mention that before? I spent nearly 10 years of my life in the Church of Fargus. Many came to us with their troubles. In my own time of need, I once ran to the church myself, and they helped me. May I share something with you, Professor? It's about a dream of mine.
What's your dream?
I'd like to work in the church one day. I want to be like the priest who helped me. Never mind. It's not a very realistic dream. Please forget I said anything.
Done. I was
If I were
distracted
someone
by...
else, perhaps a commoner without a crest or stature, maybe things would be different. It's a bit sad, but this is the way things have to be. After all, only the goddess can decide our fates.
It's alright, Dorothea. Also, I had to suppress my immediate reaction to you asking me to tell you about your dream, because my thoughts did not stay in a family-friendly place. Okay, this is really helpful. So a system I've skipped over is that there are lost items all around the monastery. And when you find them, you have to give them to a specific character. Now, in the last run, I brute forced it, so I would just go to every single character and try every single item and hope something worked. I could also look up a guide on the internet, but having some sort of secret roster which came from a quest from the DLC is going to help me out. You can check the roster by pressing X while speaking to a unit. Your intuition has tapped once during a tea party when you've chosen the wrong words. Can be tapped once. Oh, so tea parties are little events you can have with someone else to rapidly increase their support. It's good for flipping a unit to your side. So I'm going to have my way around the school and be back soon. I opened the support menu, and this is going to be a continuation of the support episode because we've got a bunch more to go through if you all are interested. Don't forget video bookmarks. You can skip it if you wish, but here is Edelgard and Caspar's C support.
Training again. You're certainly working hard, Caspar.
Oh, Edelgard. You scared me. You should have said something.
I did, but no matter. What has you training with such intensity? It's never good to neglect one's training, but overdoing it is ill-advised as well. You could already give any student here a battle they wouldn't soon forget.
You think so? Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I can't really stop training, though. I gotta get better if I expect to get anywhere in this world.
If memory serves, you're the second son of House Bergleys, right?
That's right. My older brother is the heir, and there are already too many mouths to feed in our family, so I can't count on any support. I pretty much have to make it on my own, you know?
I understand. It's difficult being born a noble. Those who inherit everything also inherit great burdens, but the same can be said of those who inherit nothing.
What are you talking about? I don't have any troubles. Who cares if I don't inherit anything? It just means I get to cut a path to my own future. You know what your problem is, Edelgard? You always have to make everything about you.
Are you picking a fight, Caspar?
Hey, now come on. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Always happy to fight, though, if that's what you want.
I have no desire to bicker with you. Good luck with your training. Goodbye.
What was that about? I'll never understand her.
I don't think too many people will understand her, Caspar. Oh, Hubert's got a bunch. Alright, Hubert and Linhardt. Yeesh.
Well, this is fascinating. Following this equation... Linhardt. Here again, I see. Go away, Hubert. Now is not a good time. Ah, yes. The double line becomes a helix, and its arc... No, that cannot be correct. Now is exactly the time. Lady Edelgard requests your presence. Come. The lecture is about to start. Politely inform her that my research is vastly more important than whatever it is she has to say. While your passion may be admirable, it is sadly misdirected. This matter takes priority. Return to your hobby when your duty is done. Hobby? This research will most certainly prove useful in the future. The Empire requires you to be useful now. I should think you would want the same. You have an almost unparalleled intellect, a singular focus, and unfettered imagination. In truth, you have talents that many, including myself, will never have the privilege of possessing. Are you complimenting me, Hubert? That alone deserves to be studied. Let me finish. I haven't an ounce of respect for the cause you have chosen to waste your talents on, which changes frequently, I might add, with no rhyme, reason, or results. Learn to apply yourself to something constructive. You may still have a bright future. That sounds suspiciously as if you're not going to leave me alone. I just want to live a life doing things that interest me. Is that so wrong? That is unacceptable, even for a nobleman. Her Highness will soon ascend the throne. She is attempting to deal with such noble privilege head-on. You have a point, and I understand where you're coming from. But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to work for someone else. Pathetic. Keep to your books, then. Goodbye, Linhardt.
No wonder Hubert and Linhardt can only get up to B. Alright. Hubert and Bernadetta B, or C+, rather.
Hubert?
Yes?
I wanted to thank you for the other day. You know, when I fainted. Thank you for carrying me back to my room.
That was nothing. It saved me effort in the long run. Leaving you there would have just caused even more trouble.
I guess that's true. Well, thanks. There, I said it, and now I'm going.
Is this why you've been circling me like a vulture for the last several hours?
Vulture's a bit... well, yes.
Yet you would have fled if I'd approached. It seems you will avoid me at almost any cost.
Well, that's...
You don't need to say it. I know. I'm frightening. I'm told so often.
Please don't laugh like that!
Apologies. I will be mindful not to laugh in your presence from now on.
The grin of death itself! Terrifying!
You think so?
Oh no, now you're angry too!
Hardly. I'm sorry to have frightened you.
No, you're not! It's a trick! You're lulling me into a false sense of security! I can't stand it!
She's a lost cause.
Oh, she'll come around, Hubert, don't worry. Okay, Hubert and Dorothea.
Completely unreasonable. How will I see to this?
Hubie, what are you doing here?
A routine matter. No cause for concern.
Ah, so it's something to do with 80 then.
And
She really is all you ever think about, isn't she? Look, I know you're doing all this so that she'll like you, but if you go too far, she'll end up pushing you away. Maybe even hate you.
this has nothing to do with swaying Lady Edelgard's sentiments. I am simply her humble servant. I do what is in her best interest. Whether she cares for me or not is irrelevant.
It really doesn't look that way to me. I bet you'd follow any order Adi gave if you thought it would make her like you. Am I right?
Any order? What a thing to suggest. But the answer is no. I will decline any directive that I deem would not be beneficial to her.
Is that right? So, just for example, if Adi commanded you to find yourself a suitable wife, would you do it?
If it would benefit her in some way for me to marry, then yes, I would marry.
It's easy to say that now, with no bridal party in sight. But if it was the day of the wedding? Nah, I don't believe that.
I don't care what you believe. My only wish is to see Lady Edelgard fulfill her ambitions. All other matters pale in comparison.
Hubie, pale in comparison? You've seen too many operas. I don't think you understand how the world works. At all.
And I don't care what you think either. I would make any sacrifice to support Lady Edelgard. It's a shame you've never experienced such devotion.
You're right. I don't have anyone like that right now. But maybe someday I will.
Then maybe someday you'll understand. Until then, we will never see eye to eye. Now, if you will excuse me, I have much to do.
Hubie, I don't get you. Although I do find your point of view just fascinating.
I have come to highly respect Hubert because he just wants to get the job done no matter what it is, as long as it benefits Edelgard. I don't think he even does it out of love, unless you sort of manipulate the supports to make it so. He's an interesting character. Alright, Hubert and Petra's C support.
Petra, industrious as ever, I see.
Hello, Hubert. Yes, I am trying to be industrious. I must be working hard to improve my position. Right now, it is not a good one.
Even accounting for that, your efforts are impressive. I wish a little of you would rub off on certain people here. One troublesome slouch in particular.
Rub? I will not be rubbing on anyone.
Not literally. I never would have imagined you would adjust so well to life in Fodlan. When I first met you, you couldn't understand a single word of the language. You had the look of a cornered animal. So much so, I thought you'd grown up in the wild.
I had more youth then, and the experience was terrifying. My grandfather ordered me to go to Fodlan with suddenness. I was stolen to a strange land filled with strange people. The treatment I was receiving was like I was a strange beast.
It is unfortunate, but while you were called our guest, you were actually a hostage. You were meant to be insurance that Brigid would not restore its alliance with Dagda and attack us. The Empire required leverage, and after all, you are the Princess of Brigid.
It gave me sadness to leave my home, but I am not unhappy that I came to the Empire. I have learned much understanding from the outside world. My experience has made me become who I am, and meeting you and Lady Edelgard has had great value for me.
I admire your spirit in the face of adversity. You set a strong example to follow. And there is much more adversity to come.
Since it's been a while since I did my first run, I forgot that that's why Petra came to the Empire in the first place. Okay, Ferdinand and Caspar. C.
That settles that. And don't even think about brawling around here again.
Impressive, Caspar. Well done.
Hey, Ferdinand, did you see that fight?
I saw it from start to finish. Both parties were at fault, disturbing the peace. Then you stepped in and corrected their behavior. You are setting a good example. I am proud to call you my fellow noble.
Your fellow noble? I wasn't even thinking about nobility. That had nothing to do with it.
Excuse me, nothing? Resolving conflicts among common folk is a duty of the nobles. Is that not what you were doing?
I guess so. But it was more like instinct or something. I saw people acting out of line and I had to step in.
Ah, you were acting on impulse. You might be better served following moral convictions rather than instincts. Take me, for example. I always bear in mind that I am a noble and behave accordingly. The fortunate must help the unfortunate. That is my guiding principle.
I never have any idea what you're talking about. If someone's in trouble, you gotta help them out. Simple as that.
A difference of opinion, you might say. Very well then. Believe what you will. I will not expend energy trying to change your mind.
Maybe all of this noble stuff just isn't for me. Hey! Don't walk away when I'm talking to you!
Wow, we're gonna run out of time before I get through all the supports. I guess we'll have 3 support episodes. Caspar and Dorothea. I mean, Ferdinand and
The
Dorothea.
dining hall seems so much brighter with you here.
Ferdy, I must say you are quite adept with flattery. Please, give me some more.
Flattery? No, I was not... There you go with that attitude again. Why do you reserve such cold treatment for me and me alone? Do you hate me, Dorothea? Or have you some other reason to avoid my company?
I underestimated you. I assumed your noble upbringing had dulled your perception. But you got it right on your first try. I hate you.
I was right. Might I ask why you find me so despicable? I can scarcely guess.
I appreciate the
Don't waste
bluntness.
another minute thinking about it.
That will not do. I do not think you would hate a person for no reason.
Perhaps. How's this? If you can guess why, I'll let you know if you're right. The brains of us common folk are so simple, it should be pretty easy for a big shot noble to sort out.
Very well. I cannot walk away from a challenge. I have no choice but to chance a guess. You are always making fun, calling me a big shot and so forth. Perhaps you think all nobles are... No, it cannot be that simple.
Oh? What can't be that simple?
Please, will you not give me a clue?
Well, let me see. A good clue? I know. It's because you're like a bee. That ought to be enough of a clue. So long, Ferdy.
A bee? I haven't the slightest. Perhaps because I am such a diligent worker?
Ferdinand is an idiot. That support story does have an interesting conclusion. But for now, Ferdinand and Petra, and that's going to be the last one for today.
Ferdinand? Our professor is wanting to see you. He has much concentration right now. I will wait for him to be finished reading.
Diplomacy has an effect upon weapons development. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, Petra! How long have you been there?
A short time. You were devoting all of your attention to that book.
Forgive me, I was fully absorbed in my reading. I see you have been reading as well. Anything interesting?
I am studying the history of Fodlan.
A history book. What a keen student you are. And it's about House Hresfelg. Certainly a stimulating topic.
I am wishing to learn all about Fodlan. What is the book you are reading?
Oh, this? This relates to a little hobby of mine. The regional history of weapons development in Fodlan. Militaries have to adapt their weapons according to terrain and climate. And they have to keep up with technologies in other regions. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. I see why you would be enjoying that kind of reading.
Oh, does that excite your curiosity too? Perhaps you would care to read more about it then. This is just one of 18 volumes, and our library has the entire collection.
I give you my gratitude. Research of weapons could be a good reference for me. Oh, please take my apologies. I was meaning to tell you that our professor is wanting to see you.
Oh, it is not like you to forget something. I suppose I ought to be going then.
Yes, it is a rarity that I forget something. But it is not impossible.
Petra's so awesome. Okay, we've got a crap ton more supports to get through, but that's going to have to wait until the next episode. I guess what I'm going to do is keep the supports in the show, but with the video bookmarks, you should be able to see them down in the time bar. So if you're not interested in the supports, you can just skip around. I think that's a good trade-off for everyone. That'll keep everybody happy. It'll just mean the series will take longer. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow for another episode.